Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Jamar back from Vegas Sense. And in this video, I'm going over a clone of a Byredo fragrance. This is from the house of Paris Corner, and this is Killer Oud Nights of Arabia. All right. And so this is Paris Corner's take again on Byredo's Black Saffron. And I finally got in my sample of Black Saffron. So we're going to go ahead and see just how close the Killer Oud comes to the original. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and spray these both on tester strips. And already, I mean, I'm definitely reminded of the same thing that I was getting from the Killer Oud from the Byredo. So let's go ahead and see how close these are. So this is the Byredo. And this is the Killer Oud. So right away, the Killer Oud is sweeter, for sure. The Byredo to me comes off as being less sweet and more sort of leathery. The Killer Oud has like this sort of candied sweetness to it. Which in my opinion, I mean, I like that from the Killer Oud. Now, I know with the Killer Oud, this sort of candied sweetness that it has, it does start to fade probably after like a minute or two. And yeah, it's already starting to kind of fade away. So I would say that has to be coming from kind of like an overdose of like the juniper berries. So I definitely think that there's more of that in the Killer Oud. And yeah, there's definitely more of like an emphasis on this sort of leathery sort of saffron that you get from Black Saffron. Yeah, Black Saffron to me is coming off a little bit more sort of leathery, less sweet, a little bit more, you know, green, you could say. The Nights of Arabia is still, in my opinion, more sweeter. I'm definitely getting more of like the juniper berries and the Chinese grapefruit from the Nights of Arabia. And you can smell a slightly sort of like a slightly leathery sort of saffron in the Killer Oud Nights of Arabia. But I would say that the saffron is more so kind of like in the back seat in the Killer Oud Nights of Arabia than what it is in the Byredo. The Byredo to me comes off as being slightly more, you know, I would say slightly more mature. Slightly more mature, definitely more leathery. Whereas I would say that the Killer Oud Nights of Arabia, this is coming off to me as being a little bit more kind of playful. Yeah, that added sweetness to this, I think, makes the Killer Oud Nights of Arabia, in my opinion, it makes it a little bit more sort of mass appealing, I think. I'm not the hugest fan of, you know, leather scents. And I mean, I would say probably The one leather scent that I do actually enjoy wearing would be something like Tom Ford's ombre leather. And even though ombre leather, I would say, still has more of a leathery sort of feel to it than what even the Byredo has, I still prefer that over this particular scent. And I think Pierce Corner, what they did was they took this DNA and they added some sweetness to this that I think was needed, at least in my opinion, when it comes to the way that this Byredo is coming off. Now, let's do this. Let's go ahead and spray these two on my skin and see if these come off any different. Okay, so the Byredo does come off as being a little bit sweeter on my skin. And I would say a little less leathery. I'm definitely getting a little bit more of like that sort of juniper berry and grapefruit combination. And the saffron is not coming off as leathery. It's more so coming off as kind of like a spicy sort of saffron. Whereas with this Killer Oud, the Killer Oud doesn't come off as being, I would say, as sweet as what it did on the strip. And on skin, the Killer Oud is coming off as being a little bit more spicier with the saffron. So that's pretty interesting. Now I would say on the actual tester strips, there's still a difference. The Killer Oud is still coming off as being a little bit more sweeter than the Byredo. But what I would also say is that the Killer Oud, to me, on the tester strip, is smelling a little bit stronger than the Byredo. Yeah, even on my skin, I could also say that the Killer Oud is also slightly stronger than the Byredo is. I feel like I don't really have to get as close to the Killer Oud that I do, with the Byredo. And I don't really have to really take as much of a deep breath in to sort of smell the Killer Oud, that I do with the Byredo. So this is one of those instances where after smelling these two side by side, I'm not really feeling like I need to rush out and go buy the Byredo. I actually do prefer the way that this particular fragrance comes off over the Byredo. So I would say if you are someone that really, really loves, like leathery types of scents, and you don't necessarily like a lot of sweetness in your fragrances, then possibly the Byredo would be the better choice for you. In terms of what I prefer, I do prefer the way that the Killer Oud comes off. Like I said, it does come off as being slightly more sort of mass appealing. Because leather scents are not, in my opinion, they're not the most sort of mass appealing types of scents out there. Now, obviously, any sort of scent that you wear can be considered mass appealing. It just depends on the person wearing the fragrance, their personality, what they have on, the environment that they're in. All of that kind of factors into whether or not something is going to get you a compliment or whether or not it's going to be, you know, so-called mass appealing. So that's why I don't really tend to get into like the whole compliments conversation or which fragrance is more mass appealing. I don't tend to necessarily get into that because I feel like that's super subjective. But in terms of, you know, at least my opinion, I would say that this is probably going to get you, you know, more compliments possibly. I just prefer the way that this one smells, honestly. So in terms of closeness, I would say that the Killer Oud, this comes, I would say, about 85% or so close to the Byredo. So not a 90 or 95%, unfortunately, you know, for anyone that was looking for this to be, you know, a super close clone. I would say it's close enough, but this is more so kind of like Byredo's Black Saffron, more so with a twist. All right. So definitely, if you like leathery scents, but you like, you know, extra sort of added sweetness to them, I would say definitely check out the Killer Oud Nights of Arabia. Now this one is definitely, it's starting to turn a lot more sort of leathery, but it still has like this sort of added sweetness to it. It's stronger, and to me this smells a lot more dense than what the Byredo does. The Byredo on me is coming off as being really, really light. It smells like really light and kind of more so transparent, whereas the Nights of Arabia is coming off as being a little bit more sweeter, thicker, denser. It's definitely projecting stronger from what I can tell. All right. So that's my take on these two fragrances. And, you know, in terms of my initial thoughts, I'll definitely, you know, have a review going over this particular fragrance, you know, in terms of my final thoughts and whether or not I, you know, would recommend this over the Byredo. Just off of the initial smell though, I would say that I would definitely recommend this one over the Byredo, at least in terms of, you know, my taste anyway. All right. So let me know, man, have you smelled Byredo's Black Saffron? Have you smelled Killer Oud Nights of Arabia from Paris Corner? What do you all think? Do you all think that this is closer than 85%? Do you think it's not even 85% close? And also, do you prefer this one over the Byredo Black Saffron? All right. So let me know in the comments below. Once again, if you're brand new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and also leave a like and a comment below. All right. So again, that's Jamar from Vegas Scents. I'll see you on the next video.